unbox it, show you what I got. So we have a new crank sensor. Right here, there's two behind the camera here. I'm gonna go ahead and replace it out here. The wire follows and comes up and the other engine did what it did. So I'm gonna put the tube is bad. So transmission over there. Not really sure. These gaskets inside here, I had to punch them out to go along the bottom of these outfits. So
sometimes I swear I fall asleep singing songs in my head just to drive away the demon, to push aside any negative feelings. Can't even see what I dream. Yeah, sometimes all I hear is that clock ticking. I close my eyes and I find myself slipping back, tearing pages out this notebook, ripping up no shreds cause ain't no see what I mean.
I got two brand new sensors here, and I got one brand new sensor down there. I've had that happen before, but just cross the fingers and hope that they were causing a problem. No, they're not. So, better do it. Well, I already had it assembled and decided I was going to take it back apart. So now we're going to go ahead and take the old gaskets out of them and punch the new gaskets.
But now I receive what I return. I remember what it was like to not know peace. Every waking moment a blur, and I remember what it was like to not know love. But now I return. Yeah, sometimes everybody gets caught wishing they had another life, had another mission. They gotta make that incredible decision to check along and service in life. Yeah, we all have to make the choice to rise above it. It might be hard, but grit your teeth and go and tough it out. Scream and shout to what your will beloved, cause this is our purpose in life. Yeah, so then I take a deep breath, step back, relax. I think about all the good times and laughs that I shared yesterday, that I have today. I'm so grateful cause I can say that I remember what it was like to not know peace. Every waking moment of love, and I remember what it was.
Alright, so I got this side all done, but it wasn't so bad, but I think it'll be alright when I see it. But I think from here on out, I've got everything I need to put on and pick it up, and we're going to go ahead and mount the plywood. And it fell against the tire, and it cut the tire in half. Speed of about 45 or 50, and it's a little sketchy, so. So at the beginning of this video, it's kind of shot over about a month. I haven't really done much. The weather's been pretty bad and work's been wide open. So it's kind of just been sitting here. had a little fun with the go-kart. I'll show you that in a minute. What I ended up finding, I set the timing on this thing probably 7 times, and I just couldn't figure it out. So what I ended up doing, I ended up having to, because it's an auto setup, in order to run the AEM, you have to change the bottom gear on the crank and the plate on the top. So after I would hook it all up, I'd have all my timing marks done, I'd have the tensioner on, I'd rotate the engine like 2 complete revolutions to try to put the marks back, and either the bottom crank gear would be off 1 tooth or this bank would be off 1 tooth, but everything else, you know, would line up. And that got me thinking, because the other motor blew up and the guy who tuned it kept saying that he couldn't get it to run right at 28 or 30 degrees, but it would run right at 15 degrees timing. So what I believe happened was, when I assembled the last engine and I had all the timing marks set, I never rotated the engine to check to see if the timing marks were still on. So what I think is that it was my fault when I assembled the motor, because maybe the bottom cam gear was off 1 tooth, which could equate to 15 degrees, and he ended up fixing that whole situation with the ignition. Now, we all said that the motor didn't make as much power during the last race. Everybody said it. And even on the dyno, with it making 253 horsepower to the wheels, it should make more than that. It really should. So I think maybe that was a problem. I don't know, not a definite, but for one of the pistons to crack, and when I got in it during my first stint, I recognized that probably an hour in, I started getting, I believed it was spark knock. It was some sort of hesitation. So it was probably getting a little pre-detonation going on, but the cast pistons just couldn't take it. So, but I've got everything pretty well wrapped up on it. I'm happy about it. I got this right here. I'll show it to you. This is a knock sensor. It is a 2-prong knock sensor for a Volvo. I contacted AEM and asked them which one would be good, and they recommended this part number. So it was great of them to do that. Now I'm waiting for the pigtail to show up for this, and if you go on AEM's website, they can give you a full schematic of how to wire this in to the AEM in order, if it does see any knock or any pre-detonation, it will retard the timing. But all that has to be set up in the computer that I have yet to learn. So it's all a learning curve, and unfortunately it's a fresh engine, and I really haven't figured out how I'm gonna learn how to do that without risking a whole lot. So I might have to bite the bullet and pay the guy to tune it again and see if he will actually come to the track and we can tune it on the track, because tuning it on the dyno is one thing, but getting it up to temperature and different racing environments and stuff like that, it all can, you know, every circumstance can change. But I have to get a AEM air fuel ratio gauge to where I can always monitor my air fuel, and this knock sensor is very important to me. So this is going to go on. I got to order the O2 sensor kit. Everything takes money, so with money everything takes time. So that's why it's been a little bit of downtime on the engine, and we're not made of money. We're not making big money on YouTube videos, especially not on this. There's only about 100 of y'all that watch this, so I do all this for y'all. But the engine is turning out pretty good. I'm fixing to put the manifolds on now, but I've got the front timing all set up, and the way I ended up doing this was I ended up setting the 2 top gears, and every time I did it, the bottom one would be off. So I ended up taking the bottom gear and I knocked it back 1 tooth, and then I set the timing, and then I rotated it two rotations, and then boom, it was dead solid on. And if you put plugs in it as you rotate it, it builds good tight compression. So I know that it's set right now. At least I feel that way. But it just, God, it was such a headache because every time you had to do it, you had to take the tensioner back off and put it in the press and press it back down and put the pin back through it. Just such a pain in the butt. But I think we're good to go on that aspect. And once I get my air fuel ratio gauge, the next thing I'm going to get is the cooler and the 2 lines that are going to go for this improved oil cooling block. So we're going to run an oil cooler, and I've got all my parts down in here that still need to go on. But coming over here to the go-kart, this thing has been an absolute blast to drive around drive around the asphalt. I hope to get some better footage in the future, but for now, what I've got is what I've got. And over here is another little Predator motor that we had played with. It's probably 3 years old at this point, but I had built this thing for go-kart racing, and it's got a Black Mamba cam in it and like 22-pound springs, and she's ready to go. A buddy of mine had put this on a mini bike. They had some mini bike races, I don't know where, about a year ago, and he put this CVT on it, and he got 3rd place. So the other 2 dudes had fully built Predator motors. So my little garage built a few parts here and there, put it together, slammed it together, and that thing was ripping. But my idea was to put the CVT on this, but I don't think the CVT will actually clear. If I take this off, I don't know if the CVT will clear the seat. But the first time I took this out, the bottom seat bracket here actually rattled loose, or maybe it was the bolt in this. And the seat, if you can tell right there, that had fallen into the tire and it blew my tire out. You come over here to my tires. See that? That's where the seat was rubbing, so. Oh well. But I know it's been a while for anybody coming on my channel wanting to watch any of the car stuff. I know I haven't really done any. Life has been hectic to say the least. Big changes, personal changes. Some kind of just, you know, things, personal things. Not really worth sharing to the world, but most people can put 2 and 2 together when you talk about big life changes. But unfortunately, it is what it is. So we're just back here trying to keep a positive mind frame, keep racing. But right now, I'm just kind of waiting on some funds, and hopefully work will slow down a little bit. But it's wide open. Everybody's trying to move to the country, and everybody wants a well drilled. So as long as the business is rolling, then money's being made. So gotta make it while you can. But just stay tuned, bear with me. I'm excited to see this run. I'm excited to break it in and put it back on the dyno. I feel like I was rushing last time to get it done to make the race, and this time around we're just gonna, you know, take our time and see how things go. But so thank y'all for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Thank y'all for watching. Take care.